From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us this evening. Our top story: during the Elders and Youth Conference, the two keynote speakers encouraged everyone to learn from the past in order to create a healthy future. Now, the Elder keynote speaker Larry Cherkasson spoke of great challenges growing up. During World War II, he was sent to an Aleut internment camp for 3 years. Despite unfair treatment, he is inspired by his ancestors' ability to adapt in a globalized world. The youth keynote speaker, Nelson Canuck, spoke about the threat of climate change and finding a better balance with the earth. He compared elder knowledge to an important resource to embrace.
Take that resource that you have now, that resource you have in reach, while it's still there. Because without their knowledge, how do we know who we are? How are we our ancestors without their knowledge and their power?
People are going to judge us by the way you behave, by the way you conduct yourself, and what you do with your life when you go outside. And to this day, that's stuck in my mind too. And I did the best I could to be the best I can, just to be a tribute to my father and a tribute to my people.
Continuing our coverage this evening, Stephanie Wooder joins us live from the Elders and Youth Conference outside of the Carlson Center. Stephanie.
Thank you, Daryl. I am here with two of the youth who attended the Elders and Youth Conference. We've got Kaylin and Tristan. Now, Kaylin, tell me a little bit about some of the issues that were covered today that are important to you.
One issue that was covered today was suicide and how it's important to speak up if you're feeling hurt. And
how does that affect you out in Allakaket, where you're from? Tell me how that issue affects you and your friends.
We've had friends and family who committed suicide, and it really hurts not just their family, but everybody in the village.
How do events like today help shape you guys and teach you that that's not the right way to go, or give you alternatives if you do feel that way about suicide, drugs, or alcohol?
They tell us that don't be afraid to speak up, and there's always people out there to help you.
Tristan, what about you? What are some important pointers that jump out at you from today's conference?
To get the youth more culturally involved in their native heritage.
Tell me some ways that you can do that you learned today.
You could help them learn at school and teach them the language and also listen to your elders.
So, what are some things that you saw today from the elders that impacted you?
The elders, when they're addressing the youth also, and how the youth were also talking to the elders and tell them that that they have to have more language classes and stuff.
Do you see yourselves coming back as elders maybe and teaching youth yourself?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Well, thank you guys so much. It was a pleasure speaking to you, and back to you, Daryl.
All right, thank you very much, Stephanie. And of course, we will continue our coverage all this week as the AFN convention is here in Fairbanks. In other news this evening, the legislature's Alaska Arctic Policy Commission is meeting this week. The commission was created last year to study policies and regulations that will impact Alaska as changes in the Arctic continue. A report is due to the legislature in 2014. Wednesday's meeting will start at 8 a.m. at Pike's Waterfront Lodge. The commission will also make a presentation at the Alaska Federation of Natives Convention Friday at the Carlson Center. One topic today was how to educate Alaskans about the impact the changes in the Arctic will have on them.
We have to find a way to make sure that this is, it comes back to being about people, making sure that future Alaskans have a way to participate in the future economy of the state is really important. So I really agree with that. I think we need to have a section on education.
The Alaska Permanent Fund increased in value by $2.2 billion in the first quarter of fiscal 2014, the Permanent Fund Corporation announced Monday. Now, the 4.6% return puts the value of the fund at $47 billion. Fund investments lagged behind the benchmark return of 5.7% for the period, which ended September 30th. Fund officials attributed that performance to a conservative investment strategy. Stock portfolios drove the positive performance for the quarter. The U.S. portfolio returned 8.3%, while non-U.S. and global portfolios gained 8.8% and 8% respectively. State transportation officials are taking action to fix the Fox well that stopped flowing earlier this month. DOT officials will start taking bids from private contractors tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. The water station is a 27-foot deep well with a holding tank. The intent is to clean screens and start the flow again with pressurization to help clear any natural debris that might have built up over the years if that's what caused the well to stop flowing. The well is located about 10 miles north of Fairbanks and was drilled in 1980. Until this month, the well has never gone dry before. An expected time frame won't be released until a contractor is hired.
So we'll be opening bids from private contractors on Wednesday morning, and then once we have a apparent low bidder, that company will move forward with a plan for redeveloping the well. DOT really understands that this well is important to the community members of Fox and of Fairbanks, and we're just doing due diligence here with all of these different tests, trying to make sure that we have all of our options together and we can evaluate those correctly before moving forward.
The Alaska Redistricting Board will hold a closed executive session meeting Friday to discuss the lawsuit filed against it. Fairbanks area residents George Riley and Ron Dearborn and the Alaska Democratic Party filed suit against the board. Final arguments were made in September, and Superior Court Judge Michael McConaughey sought to resolve the issues without a trial by the end of the year. The court has reserved courtroom time in case a trial is needed. Now, when we come back, we have our weekly health report to offer. Also, dropout rates are falling and graduation rates are rising. That was the topic of today's chamber meeting. Those stories are next. Stay with us. To the Fairbanks Evening News. Dropout rates are falling and graduation rates are rising. And this is good news that the superintendent for the North Star Borough School District told a gathering of business leaders today. Pete Smith went on to say that the Fairbanks schools are excelling in many areas compared to other school districts across the state. Latest figures are indicating that Fairbanks schools are showing a remarkable improvement in students' participation and attendance. The statistics are giving evidence to the fact that even though there have been some budget problems, local teachers are continuing to educate their students at a higher level.
We wanted to let them know that our teachers and our staff are doing great things, and wanted to let them know that we're moving in the right direction in terms of graduation rate and dropout rate, and that we're preparing kids well for the future, as evidenced by the Alaska Performance Scholarship numbers. We also wanted to say thank you to parents in the community and to the business community for their support.
And there is a correction. His name is Pete Lewis, not Pete Smith, as we just mentioned. Okay, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. News Center 11's Monty Bowen looks at genetic testing for breast cancer in this week's health report.
It's always wise to be proactive with your health, and a good place to start is by looking at your family history. If breast cancer runs in your family, it might be a good idea to take the genetic test. It identifies a mutation that is linked to breast and ovarian cancers.
That we are empowering our patient with information that we didn't have years ago, that we can give them that and we can prevent things. Not just cure things, but perhaps even prevent them.
One family knows firsthand the advantage of taking the test.
I was in the shower and I found lumps in my breast, and I put it off for a while.
Davis later learned she had breast cancer, which led her mother to undergo the genetic testing.
And when you see your daughter facing all the struggle and the obstacles she was going through, the only option I had was to do it.
Monty Bowen, News Center 11.
The Health Report is brought to you by the Ear, Nose, and Throat Clinic, located in the Medical Dental Arts Building. Call 456-7768.
And it definitely is getting colder out there, especially now that the sun has set. Mike Schultz joins us now live at the Carlson Center with our first look at weather. Mike.
Hey, Daryl, another cool night here at the Carlson Center. We're looking at temperatures to be continuing to drop for the next few days. In fact, we could be looking at some of that white stuff coming our way Friday, and then cooler temperatures over the weekend, and then maybe a chance of more snow on Sunday. And then next week, we're looking at, once again, the real cold temperatures coming in. So Mother Nature has been saying, I'm giving you a break, guys. If you had a chance to take care of all your chores, now I'm coming. Nothing really severe, but just to let you know we are going back to our regular temperatures that we should be looking at this time of year. We'll have more weather for you later on. Now back to Joe and Daryl for Support Skis.
Yeah, let's get right into it, Joe. What's the offering tonight?
Well, we're going to transition into a new season tonight. college swimming season. We'll see what the Nanics are bringing to the pool in today's Nanic Corner. We also have some big news of some big awards for some student athletes up on the hill as well. All that and more in sports coming up next.